what is very sad is that on the Protestant side of things, the people who are the new sacramentalists, and it's sacramentalism that makes you so arrogant, proud, vicious, spiteful, cruel. You can treat people like dirt because, you see, if you've got these sacraments that will get you into heaven, you don't need to be kind and loving and nice to people because you put all your faith in your own human ability to do these sacraments which will get you into heaven, because the grace of God is given through sacraments. Do you understand that? So what we're seeing on the Protestant side of things, I see it all the time here in Plymouth, where I live, Plymouth in the UK. Some of the most corrupt churches that you'll see in Plymouth aren't the liberal churches. And I don't think even the Roman Catholic Church, some of the most corrupt, vile churches that you'll ever meet are the Protestant churches, the so-called evangelical churches. Because they have sacraments. They don't call them sacraments, but they are sacraments. The sacrament of tithing. Unless you pay your money, Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10, you are cursed with a curse if you don't pay your tithe to the church. So the tithe has become a sacrament for many so-called evangelicals or Protestants. They believe that by paying the tithe, the grace of God is mediated to them and they can earn a ticket to heaven by tithing. Another sacrament is pastor worship. 1,000 years ago, 800 years ago, Catholics worshipped their Catholic priest. It was idolatrous. Whatever the priest said, the people believed it. They didn't go to the Bible and check it out. They weren't interested in the Bible. They were priest worshippers. Today, many Catholics, because of the child sex scandals in the Roman Catholic Church, they don't really respect the priest so much. Many Catholics, not all of them, but some of them, will even read the Bible for themselves, which is great. But on the Protestant side of things, the people who are the new priest worshippers, or perhaps I should not say priest worshippers, pastor worshippers, are the evangelical Christians. Tithing and pastor worship are sacraments by which the grace of God is mediated. You go into an evangelical church here in Plymouth and you disagree politely and courteously with one thing that a church leader or a pastor says, and they'll get you out that door. They'll get you out the door as quick as they can, because pastor worship is really an effective sacrament in today's church, and people believe they have a ticket to heaven because they just have blind faith in what their pastor says. A third sacrament is tongues. Not the tongues as found in the Bible, which were human languages and were miraculous human languages. The tongues that have come into the church, they came into the church actually in 1901, on the 1st of January 1901 at Topeka Bible College in Kansas, where a wicked, evil Freemason and sodomite, homosexual sodomite called Charles Parham, who died a member of the Ku Klux Klan, by the way, he was used by Satan to bring the pagan babblings. You see, there's always been the pagan counterfeit of tongues, which is you just babble. That's the pagan counterfeit. The pagan counterfeit came into the church in 1901 through this wicked man, Charles Parham. And it's extended now across the world. And tongues are another sacrament. Many people say, because I tithe, because I speak in tongues, I've got a ticket to heaven. And they will treat you with hate, with contempt, with viciousness and spitefulness if you dare question them or their faith. Because you see, they don't have a faith in Christ. They don't have a faith in the Christ of the Bible. They have a faith in their own ability to keep the various sacraments of tithing, tongues, and pastor worship, which get them into heaven. Very sad. American Christianity on the whole is run like a business. Very sad. It's 3,000 miles wide, but it's only half an inch thick. It's very superficial. It's run along business lines, like a sort of production line basis. They'll produce things like this, watches, very cheaply today, but once they sell them, they're not interested anymore. It's not like the old craftsman who would work at something for 6 months and then sell it, a beautiful work of art, and he would come back into his workshop once a year or once or every 2 years, and he would spend hours servicing it so it worked perfectly. That's how products used to be made hundreds of years ago, by worksmen, by workmen, by craftsmen who produce beautiful works of art. Today everything's done on a production line. It's all done cheaply. And it's not just done cheaply, it's salesmanship and the ability to market and to sell things is what's important. once a company sells a watch like this, they don't care about it. And if it goes wrong, there's no point in me getting it repaired. It would cost far too much to get it repaired. It's cheaper to throw it away and buy a new one. The American production line mentality. Now that is in the church. Years ago, people who ran churches were like the old craftsmen. They would disciple people. They'd spend hours teaching people and helping people to mature and grow in the Christian faith. Today, many of the pastors have no maturity. They have no godliness. How can somebody who's got no maturity teach people to mature in the Christian faith when he's got no maturity himself? Churches are production lines. Get the people in. Get them tithing. They're units. You're a unit in the church. Get them productive. Get these units productive. Get them tithing. Teach them to be pastor worshippers. Use music to hypnotize people. The modern chorus, modern music. A lot of, pastors actually go on hypnosis courses sometimes to learn about hypnosis. Because hypnosis is used throughout the evangelical church, especially in the music, but in other techniques where pastors will say something and they'll say, repeat this. And then 2 or 3 minutes later, they'll say, repeat that. They're using hypnosis in the church to control people. Anyway, so why are Oneness Pentecostals so hateful, so cruel, vile and vicious? And the reason is because they are the most zealous sacerdotalists. Oneness Pentecostals believe the most vehemently that their water baptism with the formula Jesus Christ, their speaking in tongues, their worship of their pastor, and the holiness standards that different Oneness Pentecostals churches have, like women can't cut their hair, men can't have moustaches, and various others man-made rules like this. Oneness Pentecostals are now the most zealous sacerdotalists. They are far more zealous in believing the grace of God is mediated through sacraments than Roman Catholics. Roman Catholics are complete liberals compared to Oneness Pentecostals when it comes to sacerdotalism. And that's why Oneness Pentecostals are consequently the most hateful, cruel people that you meet.